Hello, hello, hello.
Yeah, just give me 1 minute. Just give me one
Okay,
minute.
no issue. Please take your
Yeah,
time.
just a minute.
मैं डाल लेना डाल चल रहने दो तू ऐसे ही लगा दो पहले बालकनी में लगा दो हाँ, पानी चाहिए तो बना दो Hello.
Is my screen visible now?
Yeah, we can see the screen. Yeah.
Okay. What?
What what is this step?
What? Can you repeat?
What is this step that you are doing right now?
Okay, I just
No.
started the application. Ignore that part. Let me just explain the files content first. Then I will tell you about. Is this running this on server, right?
Okay, no
Okay.
issue. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Hello. Let's continue. Okay. So this is a Tomcat server. Ignore that part. Okay. My voice is clear. Hello. Hello. I'm
Yes, sir,
audible.
your voice is clear.
Okay, so let's see. So what you've done so far. So let's say we're taking a scenario, right? Let's say we have a database. That's a student data, right? Okay, and then we want to make some. Let's say we want to store all the data. We want to, let's say, add a new entry, right? We can want to update the entry. Want to delete. We have done CRUD operations, right? Yes or no? So the first thing which I told you in the previous lectures was that you have to make a model. Okay, let's say let's say this is a student model, right? So okay, so in this, what you are going to do is you're creating a class that will resemble your table. Okay, your database table, right? Like I have the student table. Okay, so you have the create a class with that, and all the fields which you have in the table, you need to make a corresponding variables here, right? Like the ID we will have. Okay, first name, last name, email, phone number. Okay, that thing. Okay, it may, you can make it different. I told you yesterday in the previous lesson as well, right? You can make any number of fields. Okay, and next thing, okay, so you can add the constructors to initialize those values. Okay, default constructors and parameters constructor both, right? And then we have the getter and setters to get and set those values. Okay, now if you talk about annotations, I told you, so when you this is an entity, right? So you have to make it an annotation at that entity. Okay, and second annotation is required is a table. Okay, and you have to give the name of table you are mapping with, that is students, right? And you need to must you should have the primary key, right? That is id. Okay, which is id here, not null and unique. And secondly is generated value is this means you are you don't need to specify it, you are randomly generating it, right? The next, these annotation are optional. Okay, at that column, if you don't add them, okay, whatever name you provided here is need to exactly match in the table, right? But if you want something else name, then you have to specify that, or in table we have this name, first name. Okay, but in this we're making a variable this. Okay, if both are different, then you have to specify, right? If both are same, then you can skip this add that column, right? Okay, and you can add the condition as well. It should not be nullable, right? It should be unique. Okay, email. Okay, so you can add some additional checks as well, right? So this is the first thing. Okay, so whenever you make any project in the java, okay, or any CRUD project, okay, first thing is a model, very important. Okay, okay, so you need to think, okay, this is a very simple scenario. Okay, student management system, so you need to have only one table with these fields: id, first name, last name, email, phone number, right? Okay, so you need to decide which is the primary key, which is of course the id. But things will become more complex. Okay, and you have multiple tables. Okay, in that field you have to decide. Okay, like you said, now currently I have the package com student app dot model. In this I have only one class, student.java, right? In this app I have these fields, right? But later you will need to have more than one models, right? So this is one thing. Okay, so we know how we can create a class or correspond to the table. Okay, so add that entity, understand, added id, added gender value, and added column, right? Then constructor and the parameter constructor. Okay, then getter and setter. I think this is very easy to understand, right? And at the last we have the toString function, right? So let's say this is a class. I hope you are already familiar with the concept of the classes and object, right? So whenever you create a new object of this class, let's say you create a new student with a new name, email, right, last first name, last name, then it will give a message, okay, readable message, okay, about that object. Okay, like what is the id of that student, first name, last name, email. Okay, for easy to understand, readable format message. Okay, so any doubt in this is
Yeah, it's okay. This is
is fine.
fine.
This
Yeah.
is fine, right? Okay, now I told you. Okay, just a minute. Okay, so I told you this is a database. Okay, okay.
Here you are doing getter setter and you are in the last what you are doing this one
What can you repeat?
in the last 83 line
Mm-hmm.
you are doing this you are just displaying this you are printing this, that's it. ID, first name, last name, phone numbers,
Yeah, yeah, because I lost that project.
student
That was
details,
yeah,
student
it's
details.
that's why I'm explaining all the files again, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. So if the something is not cleared or we have not done, just let me know. I will explain it again.
yeah, yeah,
Okay,
clear.
let's say this is let's say we have fields like id is a field, right? If you want to get the value, so you will use a getter function. Okay, it's because we have set this a private, right? If you
Hmm.
mention the it's private, you can't access it directly, right? So you have to use the functions getter and setters. Getters to get the value, setters to set the value, right? Okay,
Hmm.
if it's public you can use it directly, right? But for the security purposes we make them private. Okay, so that no one can
Hmm.
change it manually, right? For that you have to
Hmm.
call the functions only, getter and setters. Okay,
Yeah.
some I was telling you that let's say we have database, let's say in this case is student database, right? Now if you want to make any changes, right? So first what
Crude
will you do?
operation, crude
Okay,
operation, no?
CRUD operation, correctly. So so
Hmm.
where you will specify the CRUD operations, in which layer?
Layer
Controller layer, DAO layer, or service layer? In which layer you will specify the CRUD operations? Think
we
and
have
tell
to
me.
do the crude operations on the front layer, that is not in the service layer, controller and DAO. We have to perform in the DAO, but we have to give command from the controller, I think.
Exactly. So what will happen is, let's say there is some user, right? So user send the request, okay, that I want all the data. Let's ignore this part. Okay, so let's say there is a user request. Okay, right? So now this user request says I want some data, or I want to maybe want to update the entry or delete entry or something I want to do, right? So what he will do, he will send a request. Now this request, okay, will be accepted by what? Controller. Okay,
Hmm.
now controller know which functions to call, right? how to handle that request. Okay, so in
Yeah.
that case he will be using some service layer. In service layer will have the logic. Okay, how to handle that request. Okay, how to validate the request, how to reject the request, whatever we want to do we have in the service layer, right? And in service layer, okay, we will be having a DAO layer in which we are actually manipulating our data,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. So it is like a in the kitchen, it is like a material, and service is like a waiter, and controller is like a, I mean, we are giving order to
Yes,
someone.
exactly, like,
It's like,
yes, correctly. So now firstly you have to do in the reverse manner. Okay, so we have specified that how our data look like with the help of model, right?
yeah,
Right,
yeah,
yeah, a model view controller, exactly
controller,
right.
MVC,
Yeah,
yeah.
yes. So in next you have in DAO layer you will specify how you perform the CRUD operations. Okay, then you will use that functions to define a service layer. In service layer, basically we need to, so remember I told you about dependency injection, right? So
Yeah,
each previous layer will be injected in the next layer. So DAO
yeah,
will be injected in service, service will be injected in controller. Okay,
yeah.
so that all the functions of DAO can be used in service and all the functions of service can be used in the controller. Now in
Hmm.
DAO layer, basically you are performing all the CRUD operation to get all the data, to update the entry, delete and create, right? By,
Hmm.
okay, okay, so there are multiple ways to do that. Okay, if you are connected with the MySQL, okay, there are multiple ways. Either you can go for the JDBC. Okay, in that you have to write the commands, right? So what we a method are doing, we're not doing that. Okay, so we're making the hibernate. Okay, so let's see that how it, we use the inbuilt functions basically. Let me show you. So in the DAO layer, okay, so we have these 4 to 5 functions. Okay, in this we just setting the this is an interface. Okay, is we only have the function to save the student. Okay, then to get all the student it will return a list of student. Okay, then to get a student a particular ID, then update the student. Okay, then delete the student, right? This is all the functions which we need to implement. This is an interface. Then we have the implementation in DAO, like this. So in this, what we're doing, I told you we have the inbuilt functions for all this. Okay, for that we have to get a session factory instance. Okay, in this we have all the functions. Okay, to to delete the entry, firstly we need to fetch the student. Okay, get student by ID. Okay, and after getting it, if it's not null, okay, then we delete it. We have delete function. Okay, then if we want to get a particular student, then we have the get function. We need to provide the class name and the ID. Then to update the student, okay, we have the update function. Okay, to save we have the save. Okay, then if you want to get all the students, then you have to write the create query. Okay, from student, then it will return a list. Okay, is this clear?
Hmm. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so I think this is we already covered. Okay, so this is the next layer, first model layer, in which we have to specify what columns we have, what fields we need to have, and then we need to specify, okay, this DAO layer in which we are actually specifying how to perform the CRUD operation. Is it clear? Is any doubt on this? Okay, I will do one thing. I will share the new doc in which I will add all this content of. Okay, so don't worry about the code part. Okay, first tell me if you have any doubt in any of the line or this. Let's read it. Let me do one thing. Let me just create a new doc simultaneously so that I can paste it as well. Okay, that will be, I think, better. Right? Hello? I'm audible? Hello?
Uh, Abhishek, sir, you are properly audible. Please go ahead with that.
Okay, okay, okay. Thank you. Thanks for confirming. Okay. So let me simultaneously add the code in the doc as well so that I can show you later. Okay. Just give me 1 minute. Okay. So the first thing is about the model. Okay. So in student Java, let me copy that one and paste in the doc. Okay. So next we have the DAO layer. In DAO layer, we have the interface, okay, in which you need to specify all the functions, and you have the implementation class in which you have to implement all those functions. Okay, let me share that as well. Okay. So I explained the model layer. I explained the DAO layer. Next, we have the service layer. In service layer, you need to so that you know the
Hello, can you
product
little bit tell
CRUD
about
operation functions you can use.
hello? Hi, Abhishek. Sorry for interrupt. Can you
Mhm.
just tell again about
Yes, yes,
DAO,
continue.
DAO file?
No, no,
Because
no.
uh,
Yeah, sure, sure. Let me explain it again. Okay. So I told you we have the model class, right? So in
yeah,
model class, we have the table. Okay. So like we are representing a table. Like this sets we have a student table, right? In database. So we have the
yeah,
student name class, which represent a
yeah,
table. Okay. So
yeah,
each column will be a field in the class. Okay. Now if you
yeah.
want to perform CRUD operations, like you want to create the data, update, delete, or anything, right? So you need to have the corresponding function. So in that DAO layer, we have those functions. You can see this. Okay, you can see we have all those functions to create, get, or update or delete, right? So you have to
Yeah.
now implement the functions. Okay, so define those functions. You don't need to write any complex query, you don't need to do anything, right? So you have to use the inbuilt functions which is provided by the session factory, right? So
Hmm.
firstly you have to get the current session. Okay, then you can, on that current session, you can perform the save method. Okay, you can perform the update method, you can perform the delete method, or you can perform the create query. Okay, that's
Yeah.
it. Okay.
So for the Hibernate, we use the session factory. We are using the Hibernate here, correct?
Yes.
Hmm. Okay. Fine.
Okay, so I will do one more project for the JDBC as well so that you can get an idea, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
sure, sure.
but mostly we when we learn the latest concept like Spring Boot, right? So in
Hmm.
that it will be more easier to do that. Okay.
So Spring Boot is, I think, required must.
Yeah, yeah, it is a part of the curriculum, so don't worry. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, so yeah, so I think it's not that complex because it's nothing to be I think remember, it's an inbuilt function, right? So we are not creating it by ourselves, right? So it's inbuilt function provided by us to us, right? So I think that is already I pasted in the doc. Let me just check once. Yeah, I have added. Okay, next in the service layer, now you have to use those function present in the DAO layer. Okay, so that's it, it represents a business logic. Let's say before updating or manipulating a database, if you want to perform an additional checks, or after making changes you want to perform additional checks, for that all your business logic reside in the service layer. Currently our project is very simple. Okay, apart from doing any CRUD operations, we are not doing anything. Any other checks we are not doing. So it's simply identical. Our service and DAO layer will be identical. We're just only using the function provided in the DAO layer in the service layer. So if you go through this, in service layer interface, you can see we have similar functions interface, right? And similar in the implementation, we're just calling the functions in the DAO layer. Okay, you can see this. Okay, we gotta inject the DAO layer by using auto wired. Then we just call those functions. Okay, in DAO layer we have save student, get all student, get student by ID, update student, delete student, right? If you
Hmm.
remember here, right? We're just calling the functions of DAO, nothing else.
Hmm.
Okay, is it clear?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, so first thing, model. When I will give you a chance, okay, to replicate the project, okay, you have to do the similar manner. Okay,
yeah,
so don't get confused. Okay,
yeah,
okay, is it clear?
yeah,
Okay, nice. First thing, model part clear.
yeah, yeah,
Okay, okay. Second, DAO part clear.
yeah, yeah.
Third, service part clear.
Can you tell little about service again?
Okay, in service is the layer of the business logic, right?
Hmm.
Currently we just injecting the DAO layer and calling the functions of DAO, nothing else. You can see this in service layer. First, these are the functions, okay, all corresponding to each CRUD operation, and in that we just calling the function of DAO. That if I want to save the student, okay, this we are calling the sorry, this here, sorry, yeah. Let's say
Session fact.
if you want to save the student, you're just calling the function save student from the DAO class. Okay, we create an instance of DAO and we're just calling their functions. These are all DAO layer functions we are using, nothing else.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Okay.
We are going in the reverse manner, like from the DAO
Yeah,
we
I
are
told you. I
injecting to
Yeah,
the
I told you,
service
right?
and from
Sorry,
service.
sorry. Let me just explain where I return in the model maybe. Yeah, I told you, we need to go in reverse. Firstly, you need to create a model. Okay.
Hmm.
Then you will create a DAO. Okay. Then you create a service. In service, you will inject the DAO. Okay. And
Hmm.
then you will create a controller. In controller, you will inject the service. Okay. So you will go in the reverse order and you will keep injecting the previous layer to the next layer. Okay.
So
Okay.
you mean the method of DAO we are injecting in service, get by
Yeah,
name, save
you can see this.
all
You can see
these
this. You
things.
can see this.
Yeah, yeah.
Here we are auto
And
wired the
in the
DAO.
the service methods like session factory and all these, because
No, no.
this is the
See carefully. Service methods are these only. Save, student, get all. These are
yeah, yeah.
service
So
methods.
we are
These will be
injecting from DAO to service layer. In the service layer, we are
yeah.
injecting the.
Okay. Can you repeat again?
We are injecting from DAO to service layer these methods.
Correct.
We are
Correct.
getting
Correct.
the correct information like.
Yes, you can see this. Okay.
Hmm.
We are injecting the DAO layer, then we calling the DAO layer functions. Okay. Same
Uh,
thing do in the controller. In controller, you will inject what? Service layer, and you will call these service layer functions in the controller. Is that clear? Okay, it's very important concept. This,
can you go to the file of controller? Can we see there
yeah,
student
we have not
controller dot.
yet discussed that. Let me open that and tell you, right? Yeah,
Hmm.
you can see this. Now, firstly, you will inject the service layer. Okay, okay.
Yes,
You can see.
yes.
Then we will call the function. Let me explain this. Okay, this wait. Okay. Now, let's say user sends requests. So user can send different type of requests. Maybe to get all the data. Okay, get request, to create new entry, post request, right? To update,
Yeah.
put request, to delete,
Yeah.
delete request, right? So
Hmm.
for that, okay, these are different paths, different requests. Okay, so we need to handle those different requests. So for that, we have the controller. You can see this. So this
Hmm.
is a REST controller.
Hmm.
Okay, and we let's say when user enters slash APS slash students, it will listen to that request. Okay, so all the request. Okay, so when you type in the URL localhost colon 8000 slash APS slash students, right? So this will be handled by this controller. Okay, okay. Then after that, it may be further request in slash APS slash student, it may be the get request. Okay, it may be the post request. So we need to define those mapping. You can see this very simple. If in this slash APS slash students we have the get request. Okay, in that case we have this function to handle those requests. So I told you we need to inject which layer? Service layer. Okay, and we need to call the function of service layer. Okay, so I create a service layer instance, student service, and I'm calling the function get student data. So I get the data from the service layer. Okay, and I return back those data in a response. Okay, with status okay, right?
So this is actual API call when we are.
Yeah, this is actually what is sent by the user. As soon as you send the get request, okay, that is handled by our server. So what a server is doing, it's first handled by the controller. Okay, so
Hmm.
controller exactly know which service layer to go for. Okay, it go to student service. Okay, in student service what it does, it will call the DAO layer function. Okay, DAO layer will actually manipulate data in the database or get the data from database and give back to the this user. Okay, it's a cycle which is going on. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Now, okay, is this clear?
Yeah.
What is going on? Now let's say if we want a particular ID, then we need to pass the ID of the student, right? Then we'll call the function again on the service layer, get student by ID. If we get the student, okay, then we return back. Okay, if there's no such student, then we say student not found, right? Similarly for the update, and same thing again. Okay, we just need to call the functions of the service layer. Okay, service layer will do its part. Okay, and that's it. Okay, okay, so we just need to add a mapping, get mapping. Okay, post mapping, put mapping, delete mapping for all the CRUD operations, right? Okay, that is one by one each layer, and this is the main thing which you need to focus upon, right? So all the configuration files you don't need to focus upon. This is the main part. Okay, your model part, your DAO part, your controller part, your service part. Okay, that is most important. Is this clear?
Yeah. Yeah.
DAO layer, let me just prepare this service layer as well. Okay, I paste the service layer as well, and the last one which is the controller. Okay, okay. Okay, so whenever you need to create a project, right? So how you will do it? You go over to the file, okay, then you go to the new, then select the Maven project. Clear? Then select create simple project. Okay, then create next, right? So you can give any group ID, any artifact ID. group ID, you can, let's say that you can see the, let's say the com dot example, or what I have given is a com dot student app, right? Okay, then within that you can give the artifact ID. Let's say it is an organization and this is a project. Okay, let's say com dot student app is a group ID, and then you can give it the, let's say, student management, right? Okay, then you have to change the packaging from jar to the var. Okay, when mostly working with the, it's website, we will need to work with the var. Okay. Okay, so this I all told you. Make these changes, click on finish, you will get a project. Okay, but I have done this with this. Right? Is
So
it
what
clear?
you will do once it's finished, how you will create the jar file from this?
No, 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 no. When you finish with this is a Maven project, right? Remember, we've written the
Yeah,
pom.xml. In
yeah, yeah,
pom.xmls, we have defined all the dependencies. When you
yeah.
save that pom.xml, it automatically download all the jar files which is required for this project. Okay, so you don't have to manually install that. I will coming to that part. Okay, okay, just go step by step. Okay, okay.
Mm.
So from in today, you don't have to remember anything which we done in the previous session. Let's get it from scratch. Okay, what you have to do. Okay, step by step. So first steps is this, those files: model. Okay, then your DAO layer, then the controller and the service layer. Okay, in a, you do you have any doubt in these?
No, no. Model is student details. Then service
Yes,
layer is for the injection of DAO. I mean dependency. Then from the
correct,
service in that controller layer, we are injecting the dependency of service layer.
correct,
Like
exactly. Okay, so this is the
In
main.
the
This is
DAO, we are yeah, CRUD operations. We are defining
Yeah,
the
correct,
method. So
perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, this is the main thing. Now whenever, let's say when, if you want to make this similar project, so I told you the step as well. First, click on file. Okay, then new Maven project. Okay, give the click on create simple project. Okay, then group ID, let's say you give also the com dot uh, student app. Okay, either you can give the artifact ID, let's say give the student management. Okay, anything you want to give. Okay, whatever you want to give. Okay,
student database,
a student,
student
yeah,
data.
student something, anything you want to, student CRUD, let's say. Okay, this is a project name, anything you can give. Okay, let's click on var. Okay, and let's click on finish, it will do its task, right? After that, okay, when you click on the source main java, it will be empty. Okay, so you have to create the packages. Okay, for the controller, DAO, model, service, right? And then their corresponding java files, class files, right? Okay, let's
Okay.
say how, I hope you know that. If you don't know, let's say I want to create new, let's say the package, right? Let's say I want to create the com dot,
See, I cannot see your screen completely, Abhishek.
you can't
Just
see.
I can
Okay,
see
let,
the, yeah,
okay, you
cursor when you are moving,
oh,
na.
you had told me earlier, let me share the screen entire. I think entire screen is not shared, right?
Screen is shared, but
Entire screen is not shared, maybe. Let me share the
I
entire
don't
screen.
know. When you are clicking, na, and you are
Yeah,
telling
yeah,
that
I
I'm
understand.
creating the package, we cannot see
Okay,
that bar, that
okay,
particular.
you should have said me this earlier. Now it's clear.
Screen is clear. Can you click on that? You are telling that,
Yeah,
yeah, now
yeah,
it's
now.
fine. Yeah, 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 fine now.
Oh, you should be told me earlier. Okay, so so now when you click on file, new, and this Maven project, right? Okay, click on this. Okay, then next. Okay, so you have to give. This was not visible earlier,
No, no.
so you are assuming in. Okay, so then
Yeah,
you have to just.
that's why I was asking more question because I cannot
Okay,
see
okay, okay. Now
anything and
that's
you
my
are
mistake.
sharing
Sorry for that.
something.
Maybe the dash is not
It's
shared.
okay.
Okay, yeah. So told you from the beginning itself. Then okay. So first of all, you need to click on file. Okay. Then new. Okay. Then Maven project, right? Then click on the create simple project. Then just specify the group ID. Group ID is like say you have some organization schema. Go for that. Let's say com dot example or com dot student app, something like that. Anything you can give. Okay, and within that you can give the project name, let's say student.crud, right? And then in packaging, just select the var packaging, that's it. Okay, just click on submit, finish. Okay, so it will give you all the necessary folders and files which is required. Okay, okay.
Okay.
So first thing is your main files, second is how to create a project. Okay,
Yeah.
both are clear. In
Yeah.
files,
Yeah.
focus
Yeah.
on the model part. Okay, controller part, DAO part, service part. In this creation part, just focus on this. Okay, your click on file, click on Maven project. Okay, give the group artifact ID, group ID, and that's it. Choose the packaging var. Okay. Now, any doubt till this?
No.
Okay, next we have, I told you, when you what is the benefit of using the Maven? Okay, so if you're not using Maven, you have to manually install all the dependency as a jar, and you have to paste here, right? So to avoid that, what we did is we make this project as a Maven project. So in Maven you have to write the pom.xml. So when you write pom.xml, you have to just specify, okay, what is it, just like you mentioned the group ID and artifact ID for your project, right? The version is by default one, right?
Mm.
Okay, if you have
Yeah.
observed this here, right? So you need to specify the group ID, artifact and version, right? Similarly, all the other projects
Mm.
also have their group ID, their artifact ID and the version, right? So you just have
Mm.
to write those, okay, for the existing projects. Okay, let's say if you want to include the Spring Embassy, you just specify their group ID and artifact ID. It's already available online, you don't have to search it. It's not like that their group ID is changing regularly, their artifact is changing every day, right? It's fixed,
So
right?
we have to type the group ID Spring
Yeah,
Framework in that
yeah,
Google, we
yes,
can
yes.
find.
Okay, so mostly their group ID is same. You can see this org.spring framework, right? Right, just their artifact IDs changes, like it's a spring hyphen m web mbc spring.orm, right? And you can search online, you will see the latest version as well, right? But mostly we don't try to hard code it, we just write in the properties. In properties you can mention all the version, so later if you want to change it, you can change it. Okay, so and you don't need to write it manually, right? So you can search online what is the current version, how to do that, it will come easily. Okay, that is not a big deal. Okay, so just what you need to know is which dependency you need. Okay, let's say for this project we need Spring MVC, Spring or ORM, Hibernate, right? H2 database, connection pools, servlet API. Okay, some are for the later part as well. Okay, like logging as well. Okay, and these you need to add. Okay, this is the one thing. Okay, when you
Yeah.
save this file, it automatically add all the dependency as a jars. Okay, so you don't have to manually install that. You can see this, all these are added by yourself, right? So
Yeah.
that is one thing. Okay, that is finished. Okay, now um I think apart from this we have certain configuration files, I think, which I have told you in the earlier as well. Okay, so we have the app configurations. Okay, so for the database, okay, so we have to send the username and password, right? This is URL, it's all by default. Data source, I think we have done this. Session factory. Okay, for the Hibernate only we need a session factory, right? So it's all initialization of those, right? For the H2 database, initialization on the Hibernate. Okay, Hibernate properties, okay, these are required. Okay, like this, I think we have discussed that as well, right? And then in the similar for the web config, so you don't need to focus on much on these configuration files, this will remain same. Okay, what changes is the logic of these files which you need to more focus on. In this you just specify view resolver, I told you, right? Okay, so you need to just look, if let's say you have a model, right? It's running a JSP file, let's say index, so you need to look inside the web inf this, right? I told you, right?
Mm.
.jsp,
Mm.
it can set the prefix this and you set the suffix this, that's it.
Mm.
Okay, and yeah, I think we have these only, it's just initializing all those, right? Let me share these file as well. Okay, let me add a screenshot of this as well. uh, I think it will be helpful for you. Okay, so that you can replicate the same. So let me just add it over here. Okay, and just add the, I will add the pom.xml as well. Okay, pom.xml is done. Then app.config. Then we have, okay, so apart from try to write these files yourself, model, DAO, controller and service. Okay, rest files you can copy paste directly. Okay, there's no need to write them from scratch. Okay, Yeah. So just give me 1 minute. Let me change the settings for this. So I have stopped share my screen. Okay. So I can change the settings. Okay, try accessing the dock first. Are you able to access it? Yes, please tell me if you are able to access this or not. Hello, I'm audible. Just give me 1 minute. Yes, you can please access this doc, and if you're not able to access, just let me know. Okay, and then just go through this doc. If you have doubt in any of the file, okay, then after that we'll see how we can run this. Okay, let's go through that doc first.
You are taking break?
No, no, I have shared you the doc, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Please go through that doc. Okay. If tell me if you're able to access that or not. If not, I will change that permissions. If you are able to access, just go through that dot. If you have doubt in any of the files, just let me know. Okay. Just go through that doc first. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. No need to do it from scratch. Just go through the doc first. I will give you the time to do that as well. Okay.
After class we will do, but right now I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah. For now, just
checking.
not spend time on creation. Just have a look of these. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Thanks. Yes, Pavan, are you done with this?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, any doubt?
Mm, No, no, just I was checking this 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
I was checking one file, this
Mm-hmm.
sh app.config, student app.config file.
Mm-hmm.
So this file is not auto-populated. Now we have created this file, correct?
Mm-hmm. Each file we have created, whatever I shared, we have written. Okay. Firstly, you have to write the model. Second, DAO. Third, controller. Then service. Okay. Apart from these, we need certain configuration files, right? So that I told you, now we are using these annotations, but how they're working, right? Okay, we're using.
What is inside index.jsp? Can you show, please?
Okay, I have. My screen is shared. First, tell me.
No, 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 no.
Okay, let me share my file first. Okay. Yeah. So firstly, model, okay, then
Index.
DAO, then controller, then service. These three files you have to create it. There's the main logic in that. But inside that, we're using certain things, okay, like annotation, session factory, okay, database, okay. So all these things are defined, initiated, okay, using these configuration files. You can see it very easy, clearly, right? Here,
Hmm.
uh, I think it's opened already, right? Right. So we have a data source, okay, so, which is we're
So
working with.
can
Okay,
yeah, can you explain this file? This that is student app.config. This app.config.java file.
which one? Which one can you repeat?
Just your
Yeah, I'm still that one only. Okay.
yeah,
So for that, what we are doing is, so I told you, so we this is a configuration file, right? You can see this.
yeah,
Okay. So in that, some things are coming from the application dot properties. In application properties, we have specified certain things. Okay. So like your driver class name. Okay. Your the URL database. Okay. Test DB we have the username password we have. Okay. And hybrid configurations and consoles. Okay, these are certain things so that we can connect to the database. Okay, so we're using this in a configuration files just to connect that database. Okay, it will varies to the database to database. Okay, so now this is according to our h2 database. Okay, okay, in that we have to specify those class url username and password. We're specifying that only. That is data source. Okay, second, I told you we need a hibernate sessions, right?
yeah.
So we need to create a session factory, and transaction managers is like so that we in this we are let's say we perform certain operations. Okay, okay, let's say we are withdrawing some money, and so that we can make sure that it's either zero or one, right? So it should complete all the transaction or it's undo everything, right? So for that
Yeah.
we have this transaction management. Okay, in this also we're using the session factory, which we have defined
Okay.
here. Okay, in this also we need, we need this data source which we have created, right?
Hmm.
Okay, and it's applied on what table, right? I told you, so we need a model instance, so we're providing that. Okay, rest is coming from the hibernate properties which we have specified here. Okay, so what we are showing the dialect show sql format sql. Okay, it's just like that. Okay, you have to specify the values. So these are all the values which you have to provide, nothing in that you have to cram or
So
something.
Hibernate properties, this we can take from internet, correct? Or we need
Yeah,
to.
it's already available, so I'm providing you, you can use as such. Okay, it's not that part we expect you to remember. Okay, so no one expect the developer to remember these such configuration files. So if you go online, their documentation are already provided, just copy paste on that. That is not the things, okay, that it's worth to cram. Okay, so
Okay,
when you make more and more
what about
projects.
yeah,
Mhm.
fine. What about inside
Yeah,
waveconfig.java
yeah,
file?
coming to that as well. Okay,
Okay.
so in web config, I told you it's a view resolver. Okay, let's say your a model returns certain file, let's say index. Okay, so it should be known that where to find those. Okay, so it is what we do. We know, since it's we know we have defined the views inside the web app web in slash views. Okay, so it will add the suffix this and the sorry, so prefix this web in views and suffix JSP so that we can look exact files. Okay, we can see this. That's it. Okay, and
So we are
so
defining the path here.
yeah, okay, because
The
what happened is,
GSP, because we are showing the GSP, this static page, so we are defining the path of this file
yes,
particular.
because our function will return just the keyword index. Okay, it will not tell us web in slash view slash index.jsp. Our functions will return only the index. Okay, okay. So we need to add the
So
prefix and
views
suffix.
is the index for this file particular. So it is
We need to add the prefix and suffix so that we can get the exact path. Okay, prefix web in slash view suffix dot jsp so that we can get exact path of the file. Okay,
okay.
okay. So this will become, I think, more useful when we have the front end. Okay. So firstly, we know test it with the Postman. Okay, if it's working fine or not, then we can go for the adding the JSP views. Okay.
Okay, what about inside this the next file?
Yeah, coming to that. So in this, we just initializing those. Okay. So what it does, it start this app configuration and web configuration. Okay, and start the servlet, the controller. Okay, that's it. Okay, someone need to start this class as well, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So that's it. And
We are making it protected, protected classes,
yes,
because
so we don't want anything else to be manipulate that. Yeah.
this is the
uh,
front end. This is the front end part, so we need to make it protected
yes, it need
also.
to be connected to the front end later. Okay, now, so I think the main thing is to start with the model, then DAO, then control and service. Okay, then you will go for the configuration file, which I already provided you, and Pomlet XML is already provided to you. It's just add a dependency.
And
uh,
what is inside this index.jsp? Anything is there?
Nothing that
This
useful.
is just
Okay, just I added what we are doing, we can do this. Okay,
HTML file,
yes, the
HTML.
simple, so we can go, but I'm just telling here that we can go for the uh, get a post, what we can do actually. Okay, so if I go to the URL like this, I have already done this. Okay, if it's no, this one slash a, sorry, just a minute. Okay, so you can see this, currently we don't have any data here, right?
Hmm.
Okay, but with the normal browser we can't even add it, right?
Hmm.
Okay, so I have added a Postman here. Okay, I hope you are aware with the Postman, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay, so we have this URL. Okay, okay, localhost 8080 student management slash APS. I told you it will listening for the slash APS slash students. Okay, I will explain the code side by side now. Now, firstly, it will be go to the controller. Now, I told you controller will look for all the slash APS slash students, right? Now we send a post request. Okay, now in a post request, okay, we change it to the post request. Okay, sorry, and yeah, so now in a body we'll provide these information. Okay, the first name, last name, email and number, right? Let's say make it Pawan. Okay, what is your last name?
GUPT.
J G
GUPT.
Gupta.
Yeah.
UPT. Yeah, okay, so let's make it Pawan Gupta 123 at the rate gmail.com. Okay, let me write the fake number. Okay, so yeah, let's skip this one. Okay, okay, now we have the post request at this path. Okay, so now see the logic. So first, in a controller, we know, okay, whenever we have the request regarding slash APS slash strings will be handled by this controller. Okay, now inside this we have injector service. Okay, now we have this post mapping. So whenever we have the post request, so we will handle using this logic. Okay, what is in this logic? We will be accepting a student object. So what is that student object? This is this student object which we are passing as a body. Okay, so we get a student object in which we just need these files: first name, last name, email, phone number, right?
And
So what we are going to do is we calling the function of service layer save student. Okay, so we go to the service layer save student. Okay, so instead of what this we are doing, we're injecting the DAO layer and we're calling the function of save student again. So we go to the DAO layer. So what we're doing here in the save student, okay, so we just save that student to our database in DAO. Remember, we actually perform the collaboration, so it will actually save the data in database. So when you click on that, okay, send, you can see student created successfully. Okay, what happened, we send a request accepted by the controller. Okay,
yeah,
then service layer is called, then DAO layer is called, then actual manipulation is done. Okay, then actually it is added to the database. Now you get a response back, student created successfully. Okay, now let's check by sending a get request. Okay, get request, to see this send, you see you get this data. Okay, okay, now if you want to get a, let's say, add a more data. Okay, let's send the, remember we're not providing id is the auto generated. Okay,
Hmm.
Let's write here, let's say Abhishek. Go. Sure, 1, 2, 3. Let's try this. Sorry, we're not sending the get request, we send a post request. Okay. So student get successful. Let's say now send a get request. Okay. Now you see we have the Pawan and Abhishek. And if in the normal URL also now you search it, it will give you the both this data, right?
Yeah.
Right. Now that means our in CRUD, our creation is perfectly working, our read is perfectly working. The next, let's try to update it. Okay. Let's try to get a particular student as well. Let's say /2. So when I write /2, it will be return me the specific student, that is the second one. Now let's say I want to update it. So which request I will send? Put request, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's say in second I have this
You
let's say
can update the phone number like.
okay, let's say third one. Let's say third one I'm getting first. Let's say third get, because I have this saved in this. Okay, so I have this third. Let's say change the phone number. So let me just reverse the number, right? So 5566778899, right?
Yeah.
Let us undo the put request, send. So get the message, student updated successful. Let's see send by sending get request if it's updated or not. Let's see this get all. You can see it's reversed, right?
Hmm.
Okay, that means our getting is perfectly working, updation is perfectly working, creation is up perfectly fine. Let's try the deletion one as well. Okay, let's try to delete the third one. You can see it's working fine, right?
Hmm.
Let's try to test it as well. Let's try to get request of all the data. It's
Only
working
one.
fine. It's
Yeah.
only one we have, right? Okay. Now what you need to do next is, okay, now we verified it is with the Postman. Okay, so when you also make a complete project, you don't directly start with making the front end and back end both, right? So first make a back end. Okay, that's with the, like this. Okay, then test with the Postman first. Okay, if it's working fine, then only connect with the front end, right? Otherwise it will be very difficult for you to identify where the mistake is, right?
Yeah.
First test your back end. Okay, then connect with the front end. Okay.
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 Yeah.
Yeah. uh okay, so I think I have already shared you the files. Okay, so since you all have already have those files, it will be easy for you to quickly make this project, right? Just copy paste and just start running the project and see if you face any issue while running the project. Okay, so that we can quickly resolve that. Okay.
Yeah. Can I do right now?
Yeah, I know. I don't think it will take much time since you already have the codes and something, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, because if we keep on postponing it later, maybe a lot of things will be piled up, right? You might not be able to cover. Let's say you have minor issues and we have a lot of things. So I think it's better to do it right now, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that later project you can do is easily. Okay.
Sure.
So yeah, go ahead and just try this and let me know if you face any issue or once you're done. Okay,
Yeah. Yeah.
great. I'm gonna stop share, I think. Yeah. If in any step you're confused, just let me know. I'm here to help you. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Or you can share your screen if you want.
Yeah. I'm sharing my screen. So.
Okay, great. Yeah, so I think you can delete this and do it from scratch.
Okay.
Yeah, it will be a refresher for you as well. Click on delete. Yeah.
Okay. So now I will create new Java project.
No, Maven.
Now, why do?
Click on create simple project. No, don't change it. Click on create simple project. First one. Yeah. Click on next. No, don't do anything else. Don't do anything else. Yeah, just give the group ID com dot student app or anything which you want to give. Yeah, and then artifact ID. Let's say student management or student card, whatever you want to give. No, no, don't write anything after that dot. Yeah, it's only two. Yeah, yeah, that's it. Don't give it same thing. Yeah, give it some different. That's fine. That's fine. Change it to var packaging. Yeah, that's it. Click on finish. Okay, wait for it. In the below you can see the percentage, right? Yeah. Now open
Right.
this. Okay. First try to replicate the folder structure. I already showed you the picture, right? So
Yeah,
first
yeah.
try to make folders and files in that. Okay. Okay. Let me tell you one. Okay. Go to that picture. Yeah, package. Yeah. Yeah. So once you have the package, okay, right click on the package. Below. No, no, no. Click on package. No, no, package is above. Yeah, above. Yeah, this one. Right click on this and create a new class. Yes. Give the file name. I think it's app config if I'm not wrong. Yeah, app config.java. Okay. C is capital. Okay. You don't need to mention .java. Remove that. Yeah, say finish. Yeah, you can see it's working fine. Similar like this, just create the other files and then other project, other package, and then files. Okay, I hope you can do it now, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, then just paste the content and try to run it. Okay. Okay, try this. I'm just coming in 1 minute. Just try it in chat if you're once you're done or if you have any issue. Okay.
Yeah.